Welcome to the Olympian Mindset podcast, where our mission is to help regular Malaysians achieve greatness through acquiring the right mindset, mentorship, and create monetary wealth. How about that, right? Our guest today is someone who has shaped the digital and entrepreneurial landscape in Malaysia. Timothy Tiah. He's the co-founder of Nuffnang. All right, for those of you who are bloggers, remember that. Asia's first blog advertising network, and the founder of Colony, which is a premium co-working space brand that has redefined work-life design in Malaysia. Well, Timothy's journey is powerful, especially example of bold thinking, resilience, and how mentorship can shape the trajectory of one's career and life. From building a tech startup before it was cool to bouncing back after setbacks, and now creating spaces that inspire productivity and purpose. He's done it all, right? So in this episode, you'll learn how mindset drives decisions, how the right mentor can fast track your growth, and how to think differently about money and career. If you've ever felt like you're meant for more, but don't know where to start, this conversation will give you the roadmap. Let's welcome to the show Timothy Tiah.
Hello.
Welcome, bro.
Hi. Thanks for having me, bro.
Yeah. So you've been I would say you're the pioneer of digital of digital advertising and co-working as well. How did your mindset evolve over the years? I mean, because you're like OG, right? I mean, this is like, when did your journey start? Right, probably 20 years, approaching 20 years, isn't it?
Yeah.
You don't even look old, bro.
Yeah.
You look like you're fresh out of uni, man.
Oh, is it? No, man.
You got all the. You don't do anything with skin.
No,
right?
no,
I mean,
nothing.
you look like the fresh grad.
Is
Cool.
it?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, no, but I'm old already.
You
I'm
still got your
41.
black hair. You
Yeah,
got
yeah,
your hair.
yeah.
You got a lot of hair. You know.
Yeah. Well, I'm 41, so you know
Okay.
it's pretty old now.
Oh yeah. Now okay, we feel it, right?
Yeah.
Don't look it, but we feel.
Yeah, we
I'm
feel
45, so we were the
Is it?
we were kind of the same generation, right?
Yeah.
That's amazing. So yeah, so tell me about your mindset earlier on when you're 20s.
I don't know if I had much of a mindset,
Yeah.
I think in my 20s, I was just the kind of guy that just went wherever anyone told me to go.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's like it's just so silly, Like I started, I never really knew what I wanted to do, and in college, I remember that I did A levels.
Okay.
And then you have to choose a degree, right?
Yeah.
And then back then it was like, the investment bankers were making a lot of money.
So you were like focused on money, or is that because your parents or what?
Just what people say I should do.
Okay.
My parents never pushed
Chase
me
money.
anyway.
Oh yeah.
They were like, you should just go. That job pays well, right? So I started. So I thought, okay, I have to go into finance or something.
Right.
So I studied economics in
Okay.
UCL in London.
Oh right. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh damn.
And
okay.
a fun fact, this TikTok CEO is my classmate there.
Oh no way.
Yeah, shows.
Oh wow. Did you still in touch?
No, we haven't talked to each other for a long time. But
okay.
I think if we saw each other, I think we might remember each other from like 20 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Because we did attend classes together.
Okay, interesting. Wow. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Even then he was like super smart and
Of
like,
course.
he was like the.
You can see that coming, right?
Yeah.
The brilliance.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I think he was literally the top in our year.
Yeah.
I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So anyway, so after I graduated, I came out, I did internships and everything, and then I started like, I had this idea for this blog and network thing.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even that committed to it. I think I just thought like, okay, if I graduated and nobody had started it, I would just start it.
Yeah.
And so I did,
Yeah.
And I didn't really have like big dreams. I didn't have like, I can't even say I had a lot of ambition,
Yeah.
I just thought that, okay, I just want to earn enough money to match my friends who are working at PwC and all that, so that I don't feel worse off than them.
Right.
Right. And then I guess when it started, then one thing led to another, and it did okay.
Yeah.
But even after I left the company, we IPO'd in 2015. I left. Yeah.
Oh, did you leave right away, or?
I left in 2016 end, right?
End
End of 2016.
wow. Okay, so like just like a year after.
Yeah.
You IPO.
Yeah. So I left.
On the local
No, it's in Australia.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
okay.
It's still listed in
ASX.
Australia now. ASX, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you kind of just like, I mean, that was your exit.
Yeah.
So you just exited, right?
Yeah, I mean, not really. I only
You
sold
didn't
my
want to
shares.
drive anymore?
I sold my my last shares maybe in 2020.
Oh, okay. So you just
Right,
kind of like
yeah.
trenches.
Yeah, and I mean the bulk of it was in 2020. We
Oh, okay.
you know, sold. And funny story, right? When I sold right before COVID,
Uh-huh.
and really during COVID it pumped because it does digital marketing, right?
Oh, yeah.
So that totally pumped during COVID.
Ah.
So I always say, you know,
missed,
always
you missed the pump.
yeah, always
Ah.
when I sell, just buy, and when I buy anything, just short it because you know I'm always on the wrong side of the stock price.
Oh man. I know. I feel you there, man.
Yeah, always at the wrong side.
Right.
So I left, and then even after I left, I thought, okay, I don't mind working for someone.
Yeah.
As long as I can find somebody who I could like working with, right?
Mhm.
But I realized that I didn't have many skill sets. Like, I wasn't specialized in anything. I just knew how to start businesses.
You're kind of generalist.
Yeah,
I would
generalist,
say.
you know.
But that as an entrepreneur, being a generalist is actually a very, you have a head start, right? I mean, you got a big advantage.
Yeah, I
Because
guess.
you have to be generalist and know a little bit about everything. Then you hire the smart. I mean the specific guys, right?
Yeah. I get it, you know, but
Right.
I didn't know who was going to hire me and for what roles I
Okay.
was going to do,
Yeah.
you know. So then I just ended up, I had some investors who were just keen to just invest in whatever I was doing. So
Yeah.
I said, okay, you know, I wanted to start a hot pot restaurant.
Okay.
But then in the end, I changed my mind and I started a co-working space.
Yeah.
Because I saw that there was this whole boom back then, you know,
Right.
and it looked very promising.
Right.
So I
right.
started it, and you know, fast forward, it's where we are today, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you're still surviving.
Yeah. So
Right.
I always say it's like it's such a bad business to be in.
Co-working?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. It's a very tough business.
Well, the one of the biggest ones, they kind of went
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
The tube,
So
right?
WeWork went down.
WeWork was
So-
like be a huge
Yeah,
the crash,
yeah. So
right?
it basically in 2018, 2019,
was hyped
everyone
up.
wanted to start co-working space
It's
because of
hyped
WeWork.
up like heck.
Yeah.
So you
and-
kind of rode the hype.
Yeah, so we rode the hype.
Yeah.
But I guess we were lucky because COVID came and then we survived COVID.
Yeah.
You know, and so it consolidated a bit more. So
Okay.
now there are really a few players, dominant players in Malaysia. We're one of them, right?
Yeah.
But there are a few players. And the market has gotten a lot better for us because
Yeah.
it's
It's not saturated anymore.
it's not as saturated,
Right.
and people, it's very hard to raise money for co-working space, so people have to make the money work.
Yeah.
They can't, the unit economics have to make sense. They
Right.
can't run on a loss.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Which is kind of the typical Silicon Valley
Yeah.
growth model, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, who cares? Just growth at all costs.
Yeah.
Right?
So I'm grateful
Winner
for
takes
what,
all.
I'm grateful for what we have with Colony, with,
Right.
with Jerry. I mean, we do reasonably well, but
Yeah, okay.
I do think it's a very difficult business to be in.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah.
What's the most difficult part about it that you would like?
I think everyone underestimates, like, you know, a co-working business, it looks very easy because, and that's how I looked at it. I went to Singapore,
Yeah.
I saw some spaces there back
Yeah.
then,
Yeah.
and I looked, oh, there's 80% occupied or 90% occupied.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So,
Nice.
so then I just do a
Right.
back of the envelope calculation,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they must be making bank, right? But I realized then that occupancy just doesn't mean shit when it comes to co-working spaces, because most spaces, they, even back then, right, they will say that they are full,
Yeah.
but actually maybe their rates they're selling are very, very low, so they can't make any money or it's a loss.
Yeah.
You know?
Because it's competitive.
Yeah, it's because it's competitive,
Yeah.
or maybe it's because they
Benchmark has been set by the ones that are
Yes.
that are aggressive, the growth at all costs.
Yes, yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Ah.
And also there's also like a very heavy marketing costs, customer acquisition
Oh,
costs.
the CAC is
yeah, CAC is very
high.
it's high.
What does it average, you think?
I mean,
I mean,
it fluctuates,
how
but
many months to break even for CAC normally?
okay, so it's hard to say because we
Yeah.
have some clients that go in for
Yeah.
okay, it depends on the product they sign up, because
Yeah.
some individual clients can go up for 10 or 20 customers, right?
Right.
But I mean, we spend a lot. We spend in the millions, like every year on
Oh, really?
on this largely performance ads.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's mostly like Facebook ads,
Facebook, Google. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's a very heavy
Yeah.
yeah, you know.
And you're a specialist digital
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
marketer. So you'd have that dialed in over.
Yeah.
I would think that you'd
Yeah.
have more dialed in than your competitor.
Uh,
Your CAC would be lower than theirs, right? Because you're the guru OG, bro.
No, I don't necessarily think so
No?
because you know, like one thing about being in digital media, like I was,
Yeah.
is it moves on so fast that
Yeah.
once I was out of it for 1 or 2 years,
Yeah, you gotta relearn.
it has moved on
Or what?
beyond my knowledge,
Okay.
my sphere of knowledge.
Really? So how long did it take to catch back up when you had to like, you're doing sabbatical? Let's say
Yeah.
sabbatical. Was it like kind of sabbatical?
We in fact, I don't think I have really caught up, you know, because
Oh.
I think the updates keep coming.
Yeah.
But I think what we all do and what our competitors do as well, is we just hire
Yeah.
agencies that know how to do it, and if they do it well, then they keep it. If not, then we change agencies.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Also, you work with
work with agencies.
Do you
yeah.
work at big agencies or boutique agencies?
No,
What,
generally boutique agencies.
what's your mindset behind that? Why boutique?
I think the challenge with big agencies is that you normally just deal with like the junior people,
Okay.
you know, whereas the big agencies you get to deal with the
Oh yeah, but boutique you
Yeah.
get to deal with higher up,
Yeah,
the more senior.
and we don't need
That's interesting. Yeah,
yeah,
that's interesting.
we don't need the brand name and all that, so
Yeah,
that's
who
fine
cares,
with us.
right? You need performance.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Now, how do you select the right one? Is it through like referral, or it's like friends, or like how
I
do you do like a request for proposal, RFP?
Yeah, we just meet them. We
Hmm.
don't make them jump through too many hoops,
Okay.
right? But and then we'll try it. We'll give it 3 months, 6 months,
Okay.
and then see whether it works. Then we continue from
Okay.
there. Yeah, that industry has changed a lot as well.
Oh yeah.
It used to be like agencies could get like easily a year retainer
Yeah.
from a client, you know.
It's getting
now
competitive?
it's getting shorter and shorter.
Really?
Yeah, clients don't want to commit to that, and they want to see a performance. So it's very
Yeah.
tough.
It's very tough, right?
It's very
So
tough.
digital agency, it's very, beware.
Yeah, but you-
Co-working space, beware.
Everywhere. Yeah.
I think that's generally like I follow you, and that's why you're here today. You know,
Yeah.
I connected with you, and thank you very much.
Yeah.
Again, but yeah, I follow you, and what I notice about and what I like about your model
Yeah.
right now, your personal branding or your mentoring, right? It's like you go, I lost this much, so you don't have to. So, but you're going from the a little bit a negative way,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But it hooks.
Yeah.
Hooked
Is it?
me. It hooked
Okay.
me. Like I did co-working space, so you don't have to lose
Yeah.
millions.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So it's like okay, Tip. Now what should we do then? Because co-working space is out.
Yeah.
What business is okay? What do you call it? Digital marketing's out. It's too competitive.
Yeah.
It's not. There's no like surety now. It's like 3 months is not that much,
Oh.
right?
Yeah.
So what do you think is good opportunities these days for entrepreneurs to get into?
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I think like agencies and all that, you still can make money because it's a service business.
Yeah.
So service business, you can't lose money,
Yeah.
unless you're really mismanaging it. Because
Yeah.
your cost is people, right? So if you lose
Yeah.
clients, you just downsize. If
Okay.
you get clients, you just upsize again.
Yeah.
And you're just selling your time.
Yeah.
So technically, you can't really lose money, but it's just, it is just hard to scale, I guess, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, to answer your question, I was just telling somebody about this as well. I was like, he was asking me what I do. I said, oh yeah, I do co-working and everything, Colony. And they, oh yeah, we know Colony. Oh, you guys do very well. I said, no, but we do okay, but it's a very tough business. And then he asked me, he said, which business is easy? I was like, yeah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I don't know which business
wanna
is
know.
easy too. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't really have an answer to that. But yeah, I guess it's just one of those things where you choose your heart.
Yeah.
You know, they're all heart, right? Just choose
Yeah,
which heart
yeah.
you want.
Yeah. Well, I've recently come into a project, elderly care,
Oh yeah.
elderly care, but light touch.
Uh,
That for families who they want their privacy, they don't want to be like in one house, but
Yeah.
they want to be close by.
Yeah.
So if they're like Damansara, Bukit Tungku, they want to stay there. They want to go out to the bigger
Yeah.
elderly care, like retiree neighborhoods,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
you have to go to like Saramban or whatever,
Yeah.
right? They know it's a Mafan, right?
Yeah.
So then I think, well, they're like, these big mansions, bungalows in Bukit Tungku that like they're all empty, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm like thinking, my friends, like, maybe that would be an opportunity,
Yeah.
right? Because you're solving some problems. They can, you know, they can still live in the same area, and then they can retire with their friends around there.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, maybe like smaller, like more like intimate setting where there's like half a dozen or a dozen at residents total, rather than the big ones.
Yeah.
So have you heard of that? Have you ever come across like something like that?
No, I haven't heard of small boutique ones.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's an opportunity. But I just
Yeah.
always like talking to friends. That most of them they manage larger organizations, but they're like 40s and their 50s. They don't want to work for someone anymore.
Yeah.
They don't want to trade their time for money.
Yeah.
What's your take on trading time for money versus taking a risk and getting down and being an entrepreneur?
Yeah, I think, I always feel like being an entrepreneur is one of, if you want to optimize for making money,
Yeah.
being an entrepreneur is not necessarily the best way to optimize.
Oh, that's
that.
interesting. Coming
Yeah.
from a true blue entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm listening.
Because, we see the very few successes we
Yeah.
do, right? And
Yeah, we always look at the winners.
yeah, and we see some losers, right? But we don't
Yeah.
really see we don't really see what the real losers look like. And the real losers, the worst thing that can happen to you if you're an entrepreneur is not that your business fails.
Yeah.
And if it fails fast, then great, just move on and
Yeah.
get a job, right?
Right.
The worst is if you spend 10 years building a business that
Yeah.
is not doing well enough to make you rich,
Right.
or even sustain your lifestyle meaningfully,
Yeah.
and it's also not doing bad enough that you fail.
Yeah.
So you left
You're like
with
in no man's land.
so you're left with a zombie company for 10 years.
Oh yeah.
And 15 years. And I've seen people like that. They spend the prime of their
Yeah.
lives from 25 to 35 to the
Yeah.
8. And they have nothing to show for it.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, they have nothing to show for it.
Kind of sounds like an athlete.
Yeah. Oh, no, I don't know
You know?
what exactly it's like. Yeah, but
Most athletes they spend the prime of their life focus on one goal.
yeah,
And then most of them if they achieve it.
yeah.
But most don't make enough money to have much to show, or they blow it on cars and
Yeah.
stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So it's similar.
Yeah.
But then they're like 35 or whatever, and the lights turned off. Right?
Yeah.
Now what?
Yeah.
Right. So it's similar to
Mm.
an entrepreneur who's just like, okay, at the 40s,
Yeah.
nothing to show,
Yeah. And sometimes
and they've hustled.
it's not just nothing to show. Sometimes it's the negative. They're
Yeah.
dead. They just
Yeah.
can't get out. So
Yeah.
I think that's really tough. I think that now contrast that with people who just get a good job. Now
Yeah.
it's no longer true that you can't get rich working for people. Like it depends how rich you mean rich, right? But if
Yeah,
you're looking about
right.
billionaire rich, there
Yeah.
are working professionals who are billionaires like Eric Schmidt, Sheryl Sandberg, and all that.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, that's that cream of the crop.
Okay, so
Tim.
that's the cream of the crop, right?
Right.
And in Malaysia, we have Tan Sri Tiah of Public Bank.
Yeah.
He's super rich.
Yeah.
He's been working professional.
The
The
Dato Sri just jealous dude.
Yeah,
I went to his
yeah.
house last week and I was impressed.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
he was the CEO.
Yeah, easily a CEO of a public listed company in Malaysia,
Yeah.
a decent sized one, you get
Right.
paid 5 million, 10 million ringgit a year.
Yeah.
A doctor, lawyer, some doctors earn 200,000-300,000 ringgit a month. you
Well,
know.
okay, the ones that more entrepreneurial that
Mm.
they open their own clinic, they usually do better, right?
Yeah, they
Right.
can do better, they can
They
do
can
worse, but
scale.
they earn that. Or if you're a partner at say an audit, one of the big fours,
Yeah.
right? You earn a
Yeah.
couple million
Yeah.
a year. So it's
Yeah.
that not rich, And the difference is that compared
Yeah.
to an entrepreneur, my friends who work in these corporate jobs, every year their net worth goes up.
Yeah.
It's not the same for me.
Yeah, it's all over, right?
Yeah.
Up and down.
Sometimes it just doesn't go up, and sometimes maybe I get a windfall,
bad.
and sometimes the windfall doesn't come.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so I feel like being an entrepreneur sometimes is the least direct way to make money, and sometimes the lower odds
Yeah.
of making money.
Now, okay, do you think that can be offset
Mm.
by paying attention to your balance sheet and i.e. doing something that the big guns do, like treasury management? And if you have any spare cash,
Mm.
put it into an investment fund
You mean
and grow the bottom.
from the point of view of the company or the
for a
the
company. So kind of like an EPF for your company, right? So you kind of like future proofing it. Say because they have every company goes through some. I mean, not every, but a lot of companies go through good times and bad times. So in your good times, you put something away in treasury, and you're kind of building that base that can help you weather the bad times. Do you think? What's your thoughts on that? Can that be?
I think that so that a lot of companies in Malaysia, the problem is that they don't have that much cash.
Okay.
So a lot of the cash is all and they take leverage.
Right. They leverage to the gill.
Their banks and
leverage
everything,
the
right?
gill.
They borrow from banks and everything, so they don't have that much free cash.
Right.
But there are companies that have cash.
Yeah, of course.
But Asian companies, right, function so differently from the Western companies.
Okay.
If you notice what the Asian companies do, whenever they have cash, right, they just buy property.
Yeah.
They buy the warehouse, they buy that.
Right.
And that's
But
why
it's illiquid.
it's liquid. That's why
yeah.
sometimes when the crisis hit, they go into a cash crunch.
Yeah. It's tough.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we talking about treasury instead of properties, shouldn't they be buying like bank stocks and whatnot?
Yeah.
That are that income producing.
Yeah.
It'd be smarter, right?
They should. But their mindset is always like, oh, okay, why not I just then dividend the money out and just do it myself? And
but that also takes away their attention and focus from building companies.
Yeah.
If they're able to kind of get someone else to do it that's good at doing it.
Yeah.
Farm it out.
Yeah. Definitely.
Right?
Yeah. Definitely.
So that's a good thought, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So for any founder out there, man, it's a good strategy, but it's a long-term strategy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So okay. When you say like, okay, as an employee, can be financially free, what's your definition? What do you think a Malaysian needs to live a nice life comfortably, retired? What's the number these days?
I guess it really depends on what's the number of the spend.
You know? Of course.
Yeah.
Maybe an average family of like two and two, like 2 kids, right?
Yeah. Okay,
so yeah.
Personally, right? So everyone always talks about, I have that 10 million mark, 20 million mark.
Yeah, I always think of that. Yeah.
Yeah, but actually, in my personal opinion,
Yeah.
Now let's assume that you're always going to be working because we always want to work, right? Work, not just
it's
money,
meaning,
right? It's meaning, right?
Right.
So you're always going to have some form of income, but I think you really reach financial freedom even at 3 million ringgit.
Okay, so your first stage, the first stage of financially is 3 million.
Yeah, like
right?
I think that you really don't worry so much. You're not.
You don't worry about your bill, your basics.
Yeah.
You got your basics covered.
Yeah, and
So
I think
that's kind of like financial independence.
Yeah.
Freedom.
Yeah, freedom.
Right.
So.
No, independence. Freedom's the next level up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Freedom's like, okay, I can now you have an extra 50% or more of your income that's also like passive.
Yeah.
That you can holidays or what. That's more freedom.
Yeah. But even 3 million, and then even if you
3
hold it in like, I mean, if you put like a couple of that into the property you own, then you have 1 million, and then just as floating as investments, and then you just have your constant monthly income.
Yeah.
But
you still have to work.
Yeah.
3 million doesn't
Yeah.
get you
You
out
still
of
have to
work. So what's the number for if you want to like have a Thai lifestyle for your wife and you kind of just want to go golfing?
Okay.
What
I think
does
if you want that, right,
look like?
then I guess you can work backwards on that because, say, if you put it in like a bond fund or something, you probably get like 5-6% a year.
Yeah.
So if you have 10 million, right, then you end up with 500,000-600,000 a year, or maybe
that's reasonable.
40,000-50,000 a month, and that's more than enough. Tax free.
It's enough.
More than enough.
More than enough.
Yeah.
Luckily in Malaysia, because housing's cheap.
Yeah.
Food can be cheap. Even Western food is still cheaper than the West.
Yeah.
Right? Cars are becoming cheap.
Yeah.
More than back in the day when we were in 20s.
Yeah, definitely.
BMW and Mercedes was like out of reach.
Yeah.
But nowadays, for even 5-year-old BMW and Mercedes, you can get it for like 1K a month.
Yeah.
Right? Of course, don't maximize the loan. The length. But about 1 or 2K a month. That's why there's so many like German cars or premium cars out there, right?
Yeah, but I've never found that number to hit is really very meaningful because nobody that I know actually who hit that number actually just said, okay, then from now on I'm just going to chill.
Perfect life now.
Yeah, in fact,
I
then they
know.
take that money and then they
Yeah.
risk it again and again and again. And
That's how you build real wealth.
yeah, and
Right.
more often than not, I know that they lost that money
On the second time,
on the
second
second
round.
time round.
Or the third time.
In second time round.
Yeah.
You know? Like
Oh, that's
they made their
interesting.
money. You know, I have a friend who
Yeah.
had like 13 million in liquid
Yeah.
assets. Liquid, okay?
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
liquid assets.
Yeah.
And in a year, he lost it all.
1
Everything,
year. So he
everything.
was
And he
a
went to
really
debt.
high octane,
Yeah.
aggressive.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, and because that's the way
Margin?
we are, you know. Yeah, margin and all that, right? Because
Ooh.
we take risk. But you know,
Right.
that's the thing we are, because whenever we're doing well, right, we often think we're invincible.
Yeah.
And that's when we're most vulnerable.
You're right.
Yeah, and
Taking things for granted.
Yeah.
That the first, like, past doesn't equal future returns.
yeah,
Right. And that's even with, especially with business entrepreneurship.
yeah. And,
Just because you're successful the first time doesn't automatically mean you'll be successful in the second time.
yeah, and that's exactly what my dad told me.
Yeah.
After I left my first company, Nuffnang, and then I went to Colony, he told me, hey, you know, you got lucky the first time,
Yeah.
but the second time you start a business, don't think you'll succeed or you might totally fail.
Yeah.
You know, and I said, yeah, I know that. And that's why even
But you
today-
can't help yourself, can you?
Yeah, I
Got the bug.
I just
Right?
try. But I guess
So,
yeah.
but could you have just called it and goes and live happily ever after and never worry about money again?
Yeah,
Could've?
I could have.
Yeah.
And I did try for a couple of weeks, you know.
A
Like
couple
just-
of weeks.
yeah, yeah,
Come
yeah,
on,
yeah.
man. That's not long enough.
Yeah, because I used to play these games and then I used to be like envy these other guys who play during like working hours.
So you're gamer.
And I just
okay.
wanted to like, okay, I'm just gonna do nothing like 2 weeks or send my kids to school and then just
Yeah.
game.
This game.
And I did it for 2 weeks. And after that I just got really bored.
Yeah.
Because all my friends, they had jobs, they couldn't
Yeah.
come out, they couldn't hang.
It's lonely.
Yeah, it's lonely, you know what I mean? And I felt like and I feel like this thing about work, you know, work doesn't, or business
Yeah.
or work,
Yeah.
it's not just the money, but it's the social element and the mental
Yeah.
stimulation it gives you.
Fulfillment.
Yeah, fulfillment, you know. And so I'm quite confident that if I could, I want to work until the last day I die.
I'm the same. But I
Yeah.
don't consider work the same as other people. For me, it's like
Yeah.
I'm doing what I like. Like right now, this is work, but it doesn't feel like work for
Yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
fun,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? We're like
Yeah.
hanging out.
Yeah. I get that.
It's very stimulating, right?
Yeah.
And I like the part. Okay, we cut it, and we cut it into like it's like properly
yeah.
doing the reels and everything,
Yeah. I
and
feel
the
same, I feel
strategy of rolling out. I think that's cool.
Yeah. I
Right?
feel the same.
No, even from the talking, I messaged you,
Yeah.
and then when you replied, and right away I'm like, dude, for me that was like, sweet,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like little wins, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's cool, right?
Yeah. And that's the thing about work, right? The little wins feel good.
Yeah.
The failures also feel bad, but that's what makes the wins feel good, you know?
We've got to say. I noticed that.
Yeah.
Your relationship with failure, you have a good relationship with failure. We're not scared of failing.
Yeah.
We just know it's part of the process.
Yeah.
That's kind of the difference
Yeah.
I see from the champions of industry and the regular people.
Mm.
You thought about that before?
Yeah, you know.
No?
Yeah, you know, like I was just playing pickleball a few days ago, and I was with a partner who was really pressured, really wanted to win.
Yeah.
And I told him, and he was getting
Frustrated.
frustrated, you know. And you know, I get this. I used to play like I used to be very good at table tennis, but I can
Okay.
never win competitive. I won some tournaments here and there, playing for school zone and all that.
Yeah.
But I can never win because I have the skills. I just don't have it here.
You don't have the mindset to win in sport.
In sports, like when I hit some bad
Interesting.
shots, when the ball
Yeah.
hits the net, and then it's some lucky shot there against me,
Yeah.
it just affects me, right?
Oh,
Mentally.
okay.
And I don't have the equanimity, I guess,
Like
during the game.
resilience,
During
yeah.
the game when
Yeah.
everyone's watching, to just like,
Yeah.
okay, cool the fuck down,
A reset.
just go, you know?
Like Djokovic says,
Yeah.
the best guys
Yeah,
are able to kind of like, we are all human,
yeah,
so we all reflect and we beat ourselves like,
Yeah.
oh shit,
Yeah,
blah, blah,
yeah.
blah. But the champs,
yeah,
they're able to reset faster than everyone else.
yes,
And move on
Yeah.
and forget and leave leave bygones be bygones.
Yeah. And
So you ate yourself, right? You kind of
Yeah.
like bash yourself.
yeah, and then it goes
Right?
to the whole spiral,
Oh,
And
man.
before that, I've lost the game.
Oh man.
And so now now I don't play competitively, but even with
Yeah.
this friend, I just told him, hey bro,
Yeah.
I
Play
don't,
for
I, don't-
beers.
I don't care if we lose,
Yeah.
But what I do care about is that if we're losing 10 down, I want to fight all the way until we're the last point,
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I measure on.
Yeah.
And this is the same for business. Okay, we lose everything, but I just want to fight all the way,
Yeah.
and all the way until
Okay.
it's over,
Yeah. Okay.
Mm,
Interesting. That's good.
yeah.
Now with every business, we go through ups and downs
Yeah.
and big downs sometimes, like
Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah.
So you've probably been through a few cycles,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
What, how do you stay resilient during downturns?
The thing about it, right, is that being an entrepreneur, right, and I think other entrepreneurs feel this. It's not that we want to be resilient, It's like we don't really have a choice. It's like I'm in there, everyone else is looking at me, depending on me.
Yeah.
I want to have a full freaking emotional breakdown,
Yeah.
and I can have my breakdown maybe, but
No.
but
Not.
I've
in
got to
front
be
of
able
them.
to
Yeah.
pick myself up and do it again because I don't have a
Yeah.
freaking choice.
Yeah.
If you have shareholders, if you have debt,
Oh
if you
yeah.
have
True.
employees and everything, you can't. You just have to keep going.
Yeah.
But what I find is that when I have a very big insurmountable problem, I try to break it down into smaller issues,
Okay.
and I just focus on the micro issues one by one.
Okay.
And after a while, that big problem looks a lot less daunting.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you kind of like take it one day at a time,
Yeah.
one step at a time.
yeah.
It's very similar to sports.
Yeah.
At tough times, I go. my motto is called "Every day is game day." So I break it down to just tomorrow is game day. Tomorrow's my Olympics, and that just don't worry about anything
Yeah.
beyond that. Let's execute for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Let's prep for tomorrow.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
really similar, man.
So, yeah.
Okay.
And after a while, if you break down all the small problems,
Yeah.
it just the solution
Yeah.
or the way out becomes more and more obvious.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Now, okay. For Malaysians who want to break out of mediocrity, what mindset shifts
Mm.
would you recommend? Mediocrity.
I really don't know how to say this right
Yeah.
without sounding a bit immature
I'll tell it as
or,
it is.
or lack
man.
of it because
Tell it as it is.
and very honestly, right, I think that I genuinely believe this.
Huh?
I am where I am because I'm lucky.
Oh.
Yeah, not just lucky. People say, 70%.
But you make your luck, right?
Not exactly true, because if you really
No?
think about it, right?
Okay, tell us how you got lucky.
Yeah,
Uh,
I was born in an environment
Oh.
that had the seeds to help me succeed.
Okay.
I
Connections.
could get an education.
Right.
I was educated. I was not very. I was not discriminated against.
Okay.
I wasn't in like poverty, where
Yeah.
I can't plan.
Yeah.
I can't plan. People think that it's all about decisions we make. But the decisions a guy who's like fighting for his rice bowl every day,
Yeah.
is very different from the decisions from a guy who's just fairly comfortable and can make a decision 30 days on. The options
Yeah.
of our decisions are
That's
very
true.
different.
You're right. It's not fair.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I'm a big believer that
Mhm.
no matter what,
Yeah,
no matter what your draw of
Yeah.
your cards are,
yeah,
some people,
yeah,
if not all, can change
yeah.
their trajectory.
Yeah. Definitely. And,
For sure.
And people do it, right? You see, we witness that all
We
the time.
see it all the time.
And I find that very, very admirable.
Yeah.
But I can't see myself, but I'm not those people, you see.
Okay.
I was born in privilege, right? So I feel like
Okay.
it's very naive of me
Yeah,
to
yeah,
say that,
yeah.
I made it because of a mindset. No, I made it
Yeah.
because of, it's my circumstance, man. If I was
It
born
still have
differently.
to have mindset, but then you give less credit to the mindset. But
Yeah.
would you still You would say there's no mindset, or it's
No,
like less.
yeah, I think mindset in the sense of this, like
Yeah.
I often like personal responsibility,
All right.
self-awareness.
Okay.
These factors are very important.
Yeah.
Definitely. But even these factors won't help, right? If I'm just not in the right environment, or if I'm born into a hardcore poor family, somewhere in a rural area or something like that.
Dr. Sri Jala
Yeah,
from
y-
Kampong in
yeah, from
Miri.
Kampong. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's I I don't know if I can, and that's why I think I know people
Yeah.
don't even talk about being poor,
Yeah.
but they were born into like less privileged families,
Oh, yeah.
and they're more successful than me,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I really admire that shit because I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, bro,
Oh, man.
you're better than me,
Yeah.
So yeah, I do think all these mindset things, it does definitely play a role, but I think what plays a bigger role is really the circumstances.
Mm.
Yeah, and if you read Warren Buffett's book, or he actually says the same thing. He says, "I'm lucky that I'm born in this country at
Yeah.
this particular time and all that. If
Yeah, yeah.
if I were born in an African village, it'd be damn freaking different." It's just damn
Yeah.
true, actually.
Well, I mean, okay, look, Elon Musk is from South Africa.
Yeah,
But
I know.
okay, also he was born in privilege
Yeah.
in South Africa.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he would have had challenges too.
Yeah.
Have to go, and he had a little bit of. I'm sure he
Yeah,
had
yeah.
a lot of challenges, right?
Yeah.
And he made it to the top.
Yeah.
And he's still fighting a lot of
Yeah.
challenges.
Yeah. So I'm
Right?
not saying that mindset is not important at all. I'm saying
Yeah.
that like I think that these elements of mindset that I told you about are really important.
Yeah.
But it's so hard for me to credibly comment about this, right? Because I was born privileged,
Mm.
So that's
Okay.
the hard part is done.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
I
that's
think, I
easy.
think you're so humble you don't give yourself credit.
Yeah.
But okay. So that's the mindset.
Yeah.
Okay, mentorship, because we're mindset
Yeah.
and mentorship. Now, who are your key mentors in your journey, and how did they impact your decisions?
I actually have a lot of mentors in like different specific areas.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Okay, mate, let's talk about your early mentors.
So my early one is
Your
first
20s.
is my dad. My dad's got
Oh, your
very
dad,
good business
okay.
acumen, so I think that
Oh, yeah?
helped me a lot.
He's an entrepreneur too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then when I started Nuffnang and all that, there's
Yeah.
then advertising. I don't know anything about advertising. So I had veterans in the industry that were teaching me.
Yeah.
I also had and then in coworking as well, in managing people as well. I have like mentors that talk to me about this.
Yeah.
There's always a lot of like mentors from very, very different fields. I think like no one's a know-it-all, right? So
Yeah, of course.
it's about drawing the right advice from the right people.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
technical mentors.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. I have
Yeah.
technical mentors,
Mm.
and then like life mentor, right? So
Yeah.
how many mentors would you say that you have actively at any given time?
I don't know actually,
Yeah.
because it's not like a formal mentorship.
Yeah.
But do you know what?
Well,
what
that
has really
rarely
replaced
is.
that mentor thing now?
Yeah.
It's ChatGPT.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. No, it's amazing, right?
Yeah.
Are you subscribe?
Yeah.
Or you do the freemium?
No, I use the plus version.
Yeah.
And whenever I'm just lost, right?
Yeah.
It's just so good.
It's so good, right?
Yeah. It's just so good. It's just so knowledgeable. It's just
That was
so
amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just a few steps away from just doing whatever the AI tells me to do. So AI might be
Yeah.
controlling me.
But also we gotta be careful that it's not always right.
Yeah.
Like my dad uses Grok,
Yeah.
right? The one you talk to,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Grok said he's gonna die in the next 6 months.
Is
so
it?
Knock on hood. But there's nothing wrong with him, right?
Yeah.
But like he asked Grok, why would you want to ask that? But
Yeah.
so it makes him act more. He's coming visit us in October, right?
Oh, is it?
It's like okay.
On
buddy.
what basis did Grok say that he's going to die?
No, because he's a little overweight, and, his lifestyle. Ironically, he's a preventive care doctor, health doctor, and he's overweight, and he's like, he's bipolar, and just a bunch of things, right? And he's had stents put in.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, well, I hope Grok is wrong, but
Yeah.
You know, coming, how can you predict that?
Yeah.
But also scary that they could probably, I've read a lot of stories that they predicted cancer in someone years before the doctors could predict it, like 1 or 2 years. Like,
Yeah.
oh, serious,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Actually, can ChatGPT hasn't been around that long, so maybe it can't be years, maybe like few months before,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Scary, but I use it daily, man.
Yeah.
And it's just changed my life,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Totally. So when it comes to like mindset, and sometimes, honestly, sometimes I use it to question my own ethics.
Okay.
It's like,
Give me an example.
like, let's say, like I have a friend who did something bad to another friend. Just one of those everyday situations, right?
Yeah.
And this friend tells me about it. And I have this thing about myself that I'm very honest. I can't not tell this friend,
Okay.
right? And
So if he stinks, you're gonna hey, bro.
yeah,
you stink.
I can't. I said, I was like, you go and tell this person and then
Yeah.
go sort that shit out. And,
Yeah.
and if not, I can't just sit on this like that, you know what I mean?
Oh,
And so then I asked
Oh, that's
ChatGPT, like,
Yeah.
hey, this is an ethical thing, what should I do,
Yeah.
And then it just gave me comfort on what to do. I think they just told me, shut the fuck up, right? So, but in a nice way, right? But,
Yeah.
it's, I mean, like,
Okay,
everyday ethical questions, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Even in business sometimes, like, if we face ethical issues, like,
Okay.
I ask it, okay, what's the ethically right thing to do if these are my values? And then
Right.
it helps me synthesize everything. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, you program your version of value.
Yeah.
Your values, because everyone's value might slightly different.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
Or a lot,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Sometimes there's a lot of gray areas in life.
Yeah.
I feel it's not everything black and white. There's a
Yeah.
lot of gray.
Yeah.
But someone's black might be someone's gray, might be someone's white,
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
right?
That's true.
That's cool.
That's true.
So, okay. So we have mentors, you and I.
Yeah.
So for someone who wants to find a mentor, right, what advice would you give to them who doesn't know where to start, right?
So I think that we often look for mentors, right, who are people who we perceive as successful. Whereas I feel like the very valuable mentors are the ones that have a lot of failures and maybe just never made it.
Okay. That's an interesting insight.
Yeah.
I mean, probably the first that I've come across.
Yeah.
Right?
We always think that, I've been mentor because, this guy's made it, so he probably knows it. And the first thing I understand is that sometimes people made it again because of the circumstance, or
Yeah.
because of pure luck.
Yeah.
So, some people make it, they don't even know what the hell they're doing. They just made it right time, right place, right people helping them, whatever.
Happens. Yeah.
But people always fail for a very good reason.
Yeah.
And they often know why they fail. And that's why I feel like some of the best mentors come from the people who have really failed. And even the people who have never bounced back. So
Yeah.
I really regret one thing in my life, which is I had this uncle who was very successful. He built a palm oil refining company in the early years, right? And then in the 80s and 90s, became very big. And then some family issues, the company didn't do well after that, and then they sold the company. And then he still had some good money after he sold that company.
Yeah.
And then he invested in some stuff, into a jam factory in the US, in here or somewhere, in all these things. And they all failed.
Wow.
They all failed, And he's just a guy who likes to talk and is a very nice, happy-go-lucky guy. But he moved to Texas.
Okay.
And it was only maybe when I was 19, 20 that I began to think, actually, I think I can learn something from this guy. But he's in Texas. I couldn't go to him, And finally, eventually, he died of cancer.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I would never, and this is the guy I know he would love to sit down and just tell you everything.
Oh yeah.
But this is a guy, I was not, at the time when I had the chance to sit down with him, I was just not old enough. And even now, I wish I could sit down with him, I can talk to him and say, hey uncle, what happened?
Yeah.
This jam factory, it sounded great. Why
Yeah.
did it fail?
Yeah.
How much money did you take out? How did you lose it? What did you learn? What will you do differently? Man, bro, these are the mentorship lessons that go beyond just the simple shit like, work hard, don't trust people, or this shit.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. I mean, this is the real shit,
Yeah. The deeper stuff.
The deeper stuff,
Right.
How did you feel when you failed?
Yeah.
You know, how did you feel when you failed? How
Yeah.
who left you?
Ah.
Did you have friends?
Yeah,
Who
yeah.
was still behind? What
Yeah.
who did you think would leave and who stayed?
Yeah.
Fuck, bro, that's just different, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I feel that, you know, people, I wouldn't underestimate that lah.
That's a very interesting take. I mean, because at the forefront, we always think of mentors as the people that have achieved.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think there needs to be a balance, right? There's someone who is who you want to go to the top, but they fail very early. Then you go past the stage, then there's no longer a relevant
Yeah.
mentor.
Yeah.
Right? So, you know, but yeah, don't underestimate what we can learn from someone who's
Yes.
failed.
Yes.
For example, like I failed a tech startup.
Yeah.
I did a tech startup, raised capital in Australia, $500,000. Did a kind of private dining
Yeah.
platform. And I failed. I mean, I ran out of funds,
Mm.
you know, and but I can definitely learn a lot. I mean, I learned a lot, and I definitely like mentor someone
Yeah.
that's doing a tech startup.
Exactly.
I know what to do, what not to do, but to kind of scale beyond
Yeah.
that initial stage, then that's I
Yeah,
can
yeah.
help them start,
Yeah.
right? But that's still valuable,
Yeah.
right? So now, okay. So on the other side, as a mentor now, because I see you as a mentor, right?
Oh,
Because
is it?
that's what it's what you're doing. You're doing with your social media.
Oh, I know.
I lost 50,000 in Bitcoin or whatever. That one stood out the most, so that you don't have to. That's mentorship, right?
I don't know.
It is. It
You know,
is.
when
But
I-
I see you doing it without knowing it.
I'm just sharing my experiences, so I don't really see it.
That's mentorship.
Is it?
Yeah. So, you know, how has being a mentor to others helped you grow personally or professionally? So that's a good one to think about, right? So I'm probably sure you look like you haven't thought about that. You're a mentor now. Is that helping you grow, or do you see it helping you grow personally or professionally?
Do you know? I mean, I've had the privilege of people asking me to be mentor.
Oh yeah.
And honestly, if you see even my Instagram post
Yeah.
every day, there's someone saying this is day 7, day 8 of me asking you to be mentor and everything.
Okay.
And I always say the same thing. And I always say that I just don't feel like I am. I just don't feel that I have it. I have enough knowledge to be able to mentor.
Yeah.
I don't feel.
Oh come on, bro.
No, I really do. I really don't.
Successful companies.
No, I don't. I really don't.
Right.
I really think that. I mean, sometimes it's luck. Sometimes it's and
Yeah.
you know, they also have these
Yeah.
companies have their own failures. You know,
Okay.
and you know, I genuinely don't think so. So actually, I've never had a mentor.
Okay.
And people ask me for mentorship. I'm like, oh, I just don't think. Maybe one day when I feel I'm.
No,
there.
but you've had mentor, but not officially then.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
maybe people ask
Like
me
a
what
formal
it is.
mentorship.
But even then, I kind of learn.
No, but you were part of EO. That's mentorship platform.
Oh, but this is just me learning rather than me teaching. You
Okay,
know?
so you've never been. Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay, so you haven't thought of that because you're actually a mentor now, but
Yeah.
it's like informal, right? You're mentoring anyone who wants to be mentored,
yeah.
who listens to your reel.
Yeah.
And you're my mentor. You
Oh,
don't know
yeah,
that.
yeah, okay.
Because I've learned a few things from you, following you.
I always
That's why
just see
you
it
have
as
you on
sharing.
this mentorship show.
Oh, is it?
Olympian Mindset is really a mentorship show. So I think it's a
Yeah.
frame of mind now. You are a
Oh.
mentor, you just didn't realize it. Pretty
Oh,
cool.
Okay.
All right, we established that today.
Okay.
Timothy Tiah, mentor.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Okay.
Yeah, you have a lot to share.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just humble and you don't give yourself that much credit, but that's it's frame of mind,
Yeah.
right? So, okay, let's talk about money.
Yeah, sure.
I know you like money.
Yeah.
You talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
And I like money too.
But money doesn't like me. It always runs.
Oh, I think it runs. It's just never still.
Yeah.
It's just it's like water. It's
No, it's
a
always-
flow.
it's always
What's
running
that
away
Japanese
from me.
guy always says that fat Japanese.
Yeah.
guy. It's money, right? Let it flow.
Yeah.
What's your philosophy on wealth? Like, how has it changed from your Nuffnang days to now?
I think that the biggest thing that money can give you is freedom.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And not what you see on Instagram, not the cars, not the clothes, not even
Yeah.
the travel.
Yeah.
You know?
The options.
Yeah, it's just the options that if I hate my job right now, I can just quit.
Yeah.
And if I take 6 more months to find another job, then let's do it.
Yep.
You know, that money gives that freedom, and that's something that's so undervalued, you know.
No, it's powerful. Powerful,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, because people, we don't see it, right? Because
Yeah.
we don't see these things. We can't see this freedom
Yeah.
flashed in front of you on
Yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah, you can't see the freedom.
You can't,
Yeah.
you know, or the ability to make your own decisions.
Well,
So-
yeah, I guess you can. You have 5 cars. You have freedom to choose between which one you want to drive.
Yeah,
But yeah,
Yeah.
the free. I know what you mean.
yeah,
The freedom of options.
yeah. And the funny thing is that buying these other things, the cars, the clothes, and all the stuff, right? They actually detract away from that freedom because they take away from the pool of money that gives you that freedom.
Yeah. Well, unless you have so much, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I mean, unless you
Right.
do, unless you have, you know, but
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
even if you like, even if you, so for example, for me, like if you're gonna buy a car, like, buy a functional car, right, like
Oh,
a
yeah.
Honda and everything, and then you take
Yeah.
a high loan to do it, high purchase to and do it, fine,
Yeah.
you know, if you have to.
Yeah.
But to buy a luxury car, a car that is beyond what you would normally need,
Yeah.
and to take a loan to do it, I wouldn't do it,
Yeah.
you know, because
I agree.
I don't really
agree.
need that.
I agree.
Right? But why do
Totally
I
agree.
take a loan to do that? You know,
Yeah.
is so because it takes away from my ability to make that change, and that's
Yeah.
why because I'm paying that repayment for that BMW, for that house, I'm staying in that job that I hate, or you know,
I think a lot of people that's all they know.
yeah,
And that's our mission, to kind of tweak their mindset, right?
Yeah.
It's like, wait, what are you doing actually? You're spending 30, 40, 50% on your repayment
Yeah.
of your salary for a BM.
yeah,
Of course, they can reason, I might spend 3 hours a day going to and from work.
Yeah.
It makes me happy.
Yeah.
You always justify.
yeah,
But is it a smart decision long term? No.
yeah.
Right? So,
And-
yeah.
And everything I bought in the past, in my experience, whether it's a watch, whether it's a car and everything,
Yeah.
the excitement just really died off. It's just a matter of
Very
time.
fast.
Yeah.
Very fast. Okay.
Mm.
For me, I'm a car guy. I love
Yeah, yeah,
cars.
yeah.
So when I got an older 911. It's 20 years old, right? And for me, I bought it at the bottom of depreciation.
Yeah.
About a price of a Honda
Oh.
Accord, Honda Civic now.
Wow, that's amazing.
And then it goes up.
Go up,
now.
yeah.
But still, maintenance is still a Porsche 911.
Yeah.
Right. But for me, the enjoyment I get, and then I use it as a tool to meet other like-minded
Oh, yeah,
people
yeah,
who
yeah.
like cars.
Yeah, yeah.
And actually, it's got. The think back is it provided me deal flow, and
Ah.
it's grown my network.
Oh.
So I've actually made more money than it cost me.
Yeah.
So, in that context,
Mm.
it,
Yeah.
it is
Yeah,
it is an
I guess so.
asset.
I guess so, yeah, I guess.
But
I guess it
if
makes sense.
if I took a loan on it,
Yeah.
and the loan's like 50% of my take home,
Yeah.
probably a bad
Probably,
decision, right?
Yeah.
But so there's two thoughts on that, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a kind of interesting thing. Like,
Yeah.
you know, for me now, I always think like, okay, do I enjoy it first, and then what returns could it possibly get,
Yeah.
health wise or network wise?
Yeah.
So kind of just gauge that, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So okay, real quick,
Yeah.
what was the first splurge when you exited out of Nuffnang?
Oh.
Stupid or otherwise?
Okay, so this is a funny story, right?
Yeah.
When I sold my last shares, it coincided with the time where I was in my most depressive state.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
What was that?
I don't know when it started, but I was just like that. And then finally, my wife actually convinced me to see a therapist, right?
Okay.
And I used to think like, I'm not depressed, you know,
Mm.
I just don't feel anything.
Great.
And then
Yeah.
I just felt a bit numb, right?
Okay.
Or I just don't have the joy from doing things I used to do anymore, right?
Mm.
And then she said, that's depressed lah. And I remember that was at a dinner at home. And so I Googled, don't have joy
Mm.
anymore. And then Befrienders came out on top of the list. So that's when I said, okay, you know what? Maybe I should go see a therapist.
Mm.
So a month or two later, I went to see a therapist, and then
Yeah.
she officially diagnosed me with mixed anxiety depressive disorder.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's been
Yeah.
5 years. I'm still on meds today.
Are you mad still?
Mm. And so
And if are you on it constantly, or do you
Every
do you
day.
ever go off?
I'm
Have you ever
on
gone
every
off?
day.
So if you gone off, you go back, you relapse.
I
go
haven't
back.
taken it off because I tell her, look, I'm doing better now than I
Yeah.
was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So I I'm not in a rush to get off the mats. I can continue my life
Yeah.
as it is, right?
Yeah.
So let me do it, right? But
Yeah.
because back then it was really horrible.
Okay.
And back then, you know how I lost? I started to, and it's during COVID, right? And but honestly, I think it started even before COVID, but I was just like ignoring it.
Okay.
So then, and it was always like, okay, once I get this, I'll be okay.
Yeah.
You know,
And yeah.
and then so you talk about when I finally exited the last of my shares, right?
Yeah.
And I told my wife, okay, once the money comes in and combined with whatever I have, honestly, I think we're good. You know, we don't have to worry anymore.
Yeah.
And I remember I landed in Penang because I was going back at the time, and then I turned on my phone and I saw from a banker that the money had cleared in my bank account, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I felt completely nothing.
Oh wow.
Completely nothing. Even though this was nothing, it was just, you know, because I was in this depressive thing that,
Wow.
like I thought that,
All that work for nothing.
yeah, I thought, and it sounds very ungrateful and everything. But I remember I was telling my wife, she was like, you look at you, what's wrong with you and everything. I was very stressed and depressed. I said, I just need this done, and once it's done, the deal is done, I'll be okay.
Yeah.
And the deal was done, but I wasn't okay.
It wasn't. Oh.
You know, and so
Wow.
so then I did all sorts of things, bro, because I couldn't feel joy, right? So went shopping, buy stupid shit. I bought a car. I bought a Porsche Cayenne because I wanted.
Okay.
For me, cars like I must have my kids at the back, and so I can't do
yeah.
2-seaters anymore,
Yeah.
right? I bought it. I bought like then I didn't feel shit too, and then I started gambling.
Oh.
On the stock market and everything.
Oh, okay.
Like crypto, just buying shit, selling shit, everything, and losing a lot of money. You know what I mean? And because those are things that give you the big dopamine hits.
Dopamine. Yeah. True.
You know?
True.
And I realized, oh shit, this is not sustainable.
Yeah.
You know. So that
Yeah.
episode really made me realize that shit, man. Actually, none of these things that money could buy really that mattered that much. You know what money can buy? It's not the physical things, but maybe that peace it can give you. And that's not something that you can just splurge on. That's something you get from just having it.
Yeah.
You know, and that is the greatest luxury. That is the greatest gift. So now, honestly, I see when I talk to my wife and a lot of my friends do much better than me, man. They make so much more money than I do, you know. But for me, me and my wife just remind ourselves that, hey, we're so lucky we get to have lunch together almost every day.
Yeah.
We spend a lot of time.
Yeah,
With time, we can play pickleball in the morning, then go to work after. It's fine. You know, we have.
It's the simple things in
Yeah.
life that. Now I think that is being in the moment. What you're talking about, being grateful,
Yes.
right? My frame of mind is that it's like, being grateful, being in the moment. That's quite important. It's underrated.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So that's how I felt. So you asked me the biggest thing I bought. Maybe it's a Porsche, but then I sold it now because
I've had a Cayenne. I've had a few.
Yeah.
They're pain in the butt.
Pain in the butt. Yeah.
I love Porsche guy, but Cayennes
Yeah,
are such a nightmare
Yeah.
for maintenance.
Yeah. Was mine bad for maintenance? Yeah, there was some.
Yeah.
But not too major, you know.
Okay.
So and now I just buy EVs because they're so affordable now. No
EVs
tax.
is good, right? Yeah,
And you know they're just as fast, affordable, right?
Yeah.
And low maintenance and
Yeah,
everything.
what
so,
EVs do you like?
So me and my wife both have a Tesla Model
Okay.
3.
A 3. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Although we got it before the BYD seal and all that came out, and honestly, like those cars look better.
The Chinese are really good.
Yeah, they look
And
better.
now their cars, because they're starting to poach all the best designers. Right? The designers aren't Chinese, probably.
Yeah.
Right? Have you seen the new? I think the new X-Bang.
Yeah.
So
So
nice,
nice,
bro.
so nice.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a gambler in stock too.
Yeah.
I'm a Neo bull. I
Neo
love
bull.
Neo.
Hey, I have Neo. I'm bleeding on it 30-40% down. Shit.
Oh, no, I DCA'd and I'm depending on the day, but I'm about break even.
Hey, why do you believe in Neo? I want to hear this. 'Cause I have-
Okay. For me, number one, battery swap.
Yeah.
Dude, batteries are a liability.
Yeah.
So you battery swap, you can always. Sometimes they go bad.
Yeah.
And look, over time, especially fast supercharging,
Yes.
they'll go bad. I mean, it's just physics, right?
Yeah,
They'll
yeah.
go bad faster.
Yeah.
So all our cars are throwaway if you can't change it. And batteries, to change a battery, fixed batteries, it's like freaking 20 grand USD or more. So, and then also, if you can buy the car without buying the battery and rent the battery, the BAS, it just makes sense, common sense. I'm like, dude, if I can buy the equivalent of the Model 3,
Yeah.
right, for 10 grand less, and I just pay 100 USD equivalent per month, dude, I'm going to take that. You know why?
Yeah.
Because insurance is also going to be much cheaper.
Yeah.
So it's a no-brainer. Plus, the grid balance. And just the revenue that brings in.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just the basics of that, I'm like, dude, they're different. It's more sustainable. So when and then when they do all the, the partnerships and all, it just makes sense. And I'm like, it's just like the 21st century petrol station.
Yeah.
And with self-driving cars,
Yeah.
you don't have to worry. You won't waste time. The worst part about EV, especially if you live in a condo, is not all condos have that, right?
Yes.
So it's like it's with self-driving. It's okay. Program a car, go battery swap, come back, and then we go. So you just take that completely off the table.
Yeah.
So all this put that. And plus, I'm like. I love their design and their Neo house and everything. I'm like, I think they did branding really well.
Yeah.
It's just that the profitability. Okay, maybe their management hasn't been the best.
Yeah.
Right. But they changing that, turning it around. They're highly shorted stock.
Yeah.
So I'm like looking. Okay, if they achieve profitability, guess what? It's gonna be like 2000 pre-2020 Tesla all over again. It'll be a 10x play.
Yeah.
So I DCA'd all the way, and I bought a lot of chunks at like 5, 4, and 3. And I'm like, dude, right now I'm just bide your time. And I sold Palantir at 30
Oh shit.
to double down on Neo.
Oh shit.
And then now it's at like 150,
Yeah,
160.
yeah.
I'm like, but you know what? I'm like, okay, I missed out 4 or 5, and there was a lot. It's like 6-figure USD.
Yeah.
So, for me, it's all about believing in the company that you invest in. I believe in the model.
Yeah.
I believe in their execution. YouTube can teach you a lot because there's so many neo bulls that make content.
Yeah.
It's almost like a Tesla. It's like, like you have like a die-hard Tesla fans. You got die-hard Neo fans.
Yeah.
I don't know of any die-hard BYD. You can't find a BYD or Xpeng or whatever. But Neo.
Yes.
Because people know out there's so many Neo bulls.
Yeah.
Guy in Thailand, Chinese guy, a
Yeah.
couple Americans,
Yeah.
African guy doing it.
Yeah.
It's different.
So that's why I bought it too. Those two exact same reasons.
All right.
You know.
Did you load up? No,
I just bought it because look, I mean, for the EVs, right? You can't fundamentally value any of them. You know, because they're all like way overvalued on any metric, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just like, okay, I gotta pick the one. But I noticed Neo has this cult following,
It's like Tesla.
Not just of its customers, but of the bag holders, right?
Yep.
Everyone's bleeding through the whole. Everybody's bleeding through, and they're all still like, I still believe in this shit, even though they've been holding the bag for years.
Yep.
And I went to China.
Yeah.
The showrooms and everything, right? It's like packed with people.
Yeah.
I just don't know how it doesn't translate in the deliveries. Their sales numbers are just not that good. I wonder why.
Okay, with Neo, yes, but okay. How about Onvo?
Oh, yeah, Envoy, yeah.
The newest one, the 6-seater. They caused Xpeng to drop their price of their is it Xpeng? Oh no, Li Auto. They caused Li Auto to drop their rival by a lot.
Yeah.
So I want to see this play out in the next few months. It could be that catalyst.
Is it?
And then the profitability could be that catalyst as well.
Yeah. So
Right?
I was choosing between Neo and Xpeng.
Okay.
But Xpeng, as nice as it was, it just doesn't have that cult following.
Yeah.
But its balance sheet is so much nicer than Neo. Neo's balance sheet is a freaking mess.
But it can change.
yeah.
But what can't change is Xpeng can't change the battery swap. Okay, actually they can be because the what's that? The battery manufacturer CATL.
Yeah.
CATL now does battery swap, the chocolate swap.
Yeah.
So for all of the cars. I think the game changer is Firefly.
Yeah.
And Onvo.
Envoy, yeah.
So hey, I would buy tomorrow.
Yeah.
If a Firefly, I would buy a Firefly.
I'll buy a Neo tomorrow if it came.
It did. Okay, same here.
If it came here, right? I would
Totally.
Buy it.
It's like Porsche. I think I would compare Neo to Porsche. Cult-like following. And that's why the 911s, that's why my 911 is almost 20 years old, has not lost any value.
You're
In
right,
fact,
you're right.
it's gained value.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And then the 10-year-old ones, older than mine, slower, not as cool, not as fishy, but arguably better looking. They're 500K, bro.
Yeah.
The air-cooled Porsches are 500K starting.
Yeah.
So if you think about that, I'm like, okay, it's a good bet.
Yeah.
But okay, this is not financial.
Yeah. We went off
We're
topic
just,
there.
okay, it's relevant. It's money.
Don't take financial advice from me. I lose money on the freaking tires.
I mean, same here. Oh, that's a good one. This is the first time I found a fellow Neo Bull in Malaysia.
Yeah, in Malaysia. Especially now.
I'm
During
excited.
COVID, you can find some. But now,
My Neo Kawan.
nobody's holding the bag anymore. Everybody's like, fuck this. I give
No,
up.
but I'm holding on. I doubled down, man.
Is it?
It's majority of my portfolio.
Is
I'm
it?
all in.
Yeah.
Like there's one guy, money making Mitch, get rich or die trying.
Yeah.
So that's okay. But of course, luckily, I'm building other assets.
Yeah.
You know, I'm in the finance industry now
Yeah.
and building a media and whatnot. So I believe in myself enough to like bet it all on
Yeah.
that. Because if that fails, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Right? Whatever. Anyway, okay. So now we had a great conversation to kind of like, send us out. Do you believe financial freedom is achievable for the average Malaysian? And what steps would you recommend to send us on the road?
Yeah. Oh, for the average Malaysian.
Yeah, so you said 3 mil,
Uh.
right? We already set that. Do you think that's achievable for the average Malaysian? Yes or no?
It's definitely achievable.
Is it? Okay.
But really, the odds are really against the average Malaysian. It's so difficult.
Yeah.
It's just really, really difficult to break out of.
Of
To-
mediocrity, right?
Yeah, it's just, it's.
Okay, so someone who's not as lucky as you, didn't come from privilege, come from a kampong, but now worked their way up. They got their uni degree, or they're on the way.
Yeah.
What would you recommend the steps they take to maximize the chance to achieve 3 million, or the equivalent with inflation, by the time they're 50 or 60?
I think like. Oh, okay. I think that the only thing I would do is, no matter what, I would try to get used to living below my means.
Yeah.
And
But how
just
much below your means?
as much as I can, right?
Yeah.
And saving that bit of money and putting it into the S&P 500 fund or something like that.
Okay.
One of those funds, right? And just
Not
let it
Bursa.
compound. Yeah, not really Bursa, I think, but
Don't bet on
Yeah.
Malaysian stock market.
yeah, like an S&P
Yeah,
500, and then just
S&P
like
5.
gradually just
Yeah.
like put in some, and then eventually
Yeah.
it just kind of adds up,
Consistency.
consistently,
Consistent.
I would, and even if it's a small amount, I would do that.
Yeah.
But also, I empathize that it's just not easy for people because, salaries haven't gone up as much
It's
as
tough,
the cost of
right?
living,
It's really tough. So
Yeah.
they have to side hustle, man.
Yeah. So I think,
What's the
so-
best side hustle? Would you recommend? Because you've done it all. You've done a lot of. I would definitely value your take on it. What's a good side hustle?
Mm,
And what's a bad side hustle?
I think that what a good side hustle is really depends on what you enjoy doing.
Yeah. Okay.
Because that's where you can extract the most economic value out based
Right.
on how good you are. Because if you're really into something, you're good at it.
you're better.
Yeah.
You'll be better. than
So I know, like,
average.
we talk about pickleball, right?
Yeah.
Half of the pickleball
Yeah.
coaches are like lawyers or
Yeah,
engineers or
that's
something.
kind of true.
Yeah.
You can be a beginner pickleball. I
Yeah.
mean, probably we could be a pickleball coach. A beginner.
Yeah,
We can
beginner.
teach the beginners.
Yeah, you can teach
Specialize in teaching beginners.
Yeah.
And you can make freaking
Yeah, good
100,
money, good money.
150, 200 ringgit nowadays.
Yeah.
Even as a
Yeah.
beginner coach.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So I feel like,
Yeah.
I think
It's a good side hustle.
as long as if you like doing these kind of things, I think also like, like any kind of freelance
Yeah.
agency work kind of thing.
Right.
You know, some small consulting work here and there. I think anything that you can do to get that, I think would be great lah. And
Okay.
I don't see, for me, right? Like,
Yeah.
okay, so you talked just now about selling your time.
Yeah.
And actually, we're all selling our time. We're building our business now, we're all selling our time. But the difference
True.
is that how much leverage do you have on that time you're putting in?
Yeah.
So even if you sell your time to someone, if you take like a percentage of the sales or a percentage of a commission or
Yeah.
a share of whatever you're building,
Yeah.
you know, then you allow it to leverage up beyond what your time you put in is.
Yeah.
So, you know, so I think that whatever we do, whether it's like side hustles, wherever we do our money to investing, as long as we are constantly
Consistent.
being consistent about
Yeah.
leveraging that, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, I tried investing. I stock pick all the time last time.
Okay.
Right? Frick,
Still?
Now I stopped. In the
Oh.
past 1 year, I've stopped.
Okay.
You know why?
Why?
Last year, for the past few years, right? Last year I did really well last year, right?
Okay.
Because I bet 70% of my portfolio went into the Hong Kong, China stocks.
Oh,
They were all battered down.
You saw the trend of
Yeah.
of rebalance. All the institutionals rebalancing, right?
Yeah, so I was like, okay, I just put in there, right?
Yeah. Or rotating. They
But
call it
you know,
rotating.
I've been dollar cost averaging since 2021, since it's been
That's
coming
fair.
out all the
Same
way.
here. Yeah.
So it's been 3-4 years. So,
Yeah.
but last year I made maybe 36 to 8%
That's
return on my
alright.
portfolio, right?
It's above average.
And it's like, I just Googled it, and I would have been one of the top performing hedge fund
That's pretty cool.
in Wall Street at
Yeah.
that percent. But then what I did then was that I started to, okay, but what if I look at my 5-year average?
Oh, yeah.
All the loss and everything. And after I averaged out that 36% in 5 years,
Yeah.
including the downtrends,
Yeah.
which I was in also,
Yeah.
I probably made like 5-6% a year. So I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I just did as well as a bond.
Yeah.
Might as well put the money in a bond and not have this
Yeah.
roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah. But it's fun.
yeah.
It's fun.
It's
You gotta
fun
admit
because we
it's
think,
fun.
because we always, it's like a
Yeah.
ego thing to beat the market. But hell, man, fuck, it's just so hard.
totally. No,
Yeah.
that's a good one. You know, it's very hard to beat the market.
Yeah.
Even the pros can't. So what makes us think that we
Yeah.
can? Right?
Yeah.
Or even in crypto, forget it, right?
Yeah.
So consistency and do something that's safe, right?
Yeah.
S&P,
Yeah.
what proven, right? Do ETFs,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
All right. I
Yeah.
mean that's reasonable. So any Malaysian can achieve the wealth,
Yeah.
financial independence of 3 million.
Yeah.
But you work backwards
Yeah.
over how many years, and then you got to put in certain amount.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that left over from your salary, do a side gig.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up Olympian Mindset with Timothy Tiah. Thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah.
And look forward to pickle gaming and
Oh, yeah.
celebrating with you when Neo hits 100.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.